Hello, Bucs fans. Welcome back to Real Bucs Talk. And today I want to get into the Eagles Buccaneers matchup that is going to happen tomorrow night, Monday Night Football on ESPN at 7:15. Both teams 2-0. And for most, it's probably a shock that the Buccaneers are 2-0 given the national media and the predictions. But if you're, stay tuned to this channel, you know that we believe that the Buccaneers were going to be a lot better than people thought, and so far that's been the case. But this is going to be a very interesting battle. I think it's going to be closer than a lot of people are projecting. I think it's going to be a good game between both sides, kind of a chess match. The Eagles, again, they are a very talented team. NFC defending champions, were in the Super Bowl last year, so this is a big test for the Buccaneers. It's kind of a measuring stick to see where the Bucs are at, see if they can, maybe go further than most are thinking as far as getting into the playoffs and maybe making some noise, or if it's just going to be, they're still a little ways away from competing with the top teams in the conference. But should be a fun game. I think when you look at it, as you see on the screen there, ESPN going with the Eagles, and rightfully so. They are the favorite in this game at 70%. You look at the numbers. Jalen Hurts has not been great so far this season. Again, it's early. Protecting the football for the most part. Two touchdowns, one interception, 363 yards. You look at Baker Mayfield, 490 yards. The big thing with the Eagles is, man, they run the football. So DeAndre Swift had a huge game last week against the Minnesota Vikings, where he went off. And Devontae Smith is a big time playmaker for them as well. They have AJ Brown. And you look at our side, Rashad White had a bounce back game last week against the Bears, and then Mike Evans with his big game. So it should be interesting. You look at the numbers here, pretty similar. Eagles are a little bit more balanced, as they have almost 180 yards rushing to 180 passing. So they definitely, lean on their run game. And then defensively, the big thing is this is 1 and 2 as far as rush defenses go. Eagles at 52 yards per game and the Bucs at 54. So, you know, I think, it's going to be critical for the Buccaneers to come out and obviously play smart football. They're going to have to protect it. They're going to have to, attempt to run the football. I think they're going to have to try to stay balanced, even if it's not working. You got to slow down the Eagles' pass rush. That is very good. And you have to find ways to get creative and score inside the red zone. Red zone scoring, I think, is going to be a big key to this game. So when you look at it, turnovers, red zone scoring, and who can run the football more efficiently, I think, is going to have the edge in this game. It's really going to open up the pass game. I think, if the Buccaneers can just have some successful runs early, and be, creative. It doesn't have to be a handoff. Maybe, some screen passes to really get the Eagles rush to slow down a little bit and give you more time to attack the Eagles secondary back there, and attack their linebackers in the pass game. So I think that will be, important. And we'll get into some individual matchups. I'll probably have a video on that tomorrow before the game. But just looking at this Eagles team and really presenting what they have, I mean, it's a very top-notch roster. This is probably one of the best rosters in the NFL. When you look at, Jalen Hurts, Swift, they have Gainwell, who's a good backup at running back, and then A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Quez Watkins is going to be out. You look at, Dallas Goedert, and then the best offensive line probably in football. So it's a big challenge for the Buccaneers defense. They're going to have to try to, definitely stop the run, contain the run game, and make Jalen Hurts try to beat them. And, probably have to find ways to throw some disguises and maybe get some picks or some turnovers that way. I think that's going to be critical for the Buccaneers to, have a chance at winning this game. And then defensively, we talked about it. For the Bucs offense, they're going to have to find ways to slow down that pass rush of Philly, because they have a great, as you see, great front seven that can bring a lot of different pressures, and they can win in a lot of ways. And obviously a lot of people are looking at the Bucs interior offensive line with Cody Mock and Robert Hainsey and Matt Filer. Those guys are going to have to step up. But I think what the Bucs need to do is come out and help them by, quick passing game, find ways to, run the ball differently, maybe do some jet sweeps and some east and west stuff to slow these guys down and maybe tire them out. So that will be important. But main thing, they can't have turnovers. They can't have negative plays. So I think if the Buccaneers can limit that and find ways to get inside the red zone and score touchdowns instead of field goals, Bucs should be right there in the fourth quarter with a chance to win this game. But it's gonna be tough because the Eagles, man, they just present so many challenges, and it'll be interesting to see how the Bucs offense wants to attack it, and same thing with the Bucs defense. But speaking of the offense, I wanted to bring in Dave Canales here, and he's going to talk about how the Bucs have to stick with that ground game, continue to have attempts at it, and also he talks about the pass protection, how the foundation of the timing of the plays really helps the pass protection and can limit from Baker Mayfield getting sacked back there. So here's Dave Canales.
The ball better last week. This team is first against the run.
Yeah.
They're very deep on the front seven. So what kind of a challenge does that bring when you want to run it? But that's
yeah, the challenge is just, for me, is to maintain the discipline of stick with it. It will work. We've played some great fronts over the years in Seattle, and the games where even if it's a little bit hard early on, you just got to stick with the balance and rhythm of the way you call the plays, trying to be balanced on 1st and 10, second into different situations. Having the run pass balance is really critical. So then it's really more about the type of runs, that we'll get into as far as the number of, so to speak. Because what they would love for you to do, just like the Niners, they'd love for you to do is just like, oh, we just got to drop back and pass it. Well, that's a really good rush front, So just being disciplined to stick with it.
Say about the offensive line and the job they've done with pass protection.
Fantastic. Yeah, and this goes back to the philosophy of what we do. Not a lot of our plays are taking more than 2.7 seconds. So, like yesterday in practice, it's like the rhythm just flows just like that. The decisions are such that the ball should come out even to a check down in less than 3. So they feel more confident and comfortable to be able to set and be aggressive on these defensive linemen as they trust that Baker's going to make a quick decision, get the ball out, scramble, and do those things. But yeah, I'm very, very excited about what they're doing.
So there you go right there. Dave talking about just sticking with that ground game, even if it's not working per se, and continuing to mix up the variations of your runs. I think that's going to be important for the Bucs offense, especially when you look at this defense and what they present. So yeah, I mean, the Buccaneers are going to have to stay in, third and manageable, or, avoid third down altogether if they can. I think passing on first down is going to be key. And then running on, second and shorts, third and shorts, finding ways to move the chains and control the clock. Keep that Eagles offense off the field, keep your defense fresh. That's going to be important, and finding ways to get those explosives, set up those explosive plays, and hopefully the Buccaneers can find the end zone more than often. But it's going to be a challenge. Eagles are really good. They have everything you want from a football team, and it should be fun. But just to reinstate the keys to the game is going to be protecting the ball, finding ways to run it efficiently, and then red zone scoring, and that goes both ways. Bucs are going to have to do a good job of keeping the Eagles to field goals, and the Buccaneers got to capitalize on their opportunities. But with that said, let's get into the injury report. As you see here, no Kalijah Cansey, no Servassier Dennis for the Bucs. Everyone else probably going to play. Carlton Davis is a game time decision, so that will be definitely a key injury to watch for. For the Eagles, they pretty much have everyone ready. They won't have Boston Scott or Quez Watkins for this game, though. It should be a lot of fun. As you see here, great. I think it's just a good matchup because the Buccaneers have won the last four matchups between the two. But this is a much different Eagles team going, for tomorrow's game. And so are the Buccaneers, much different on both sides. And it'll be intriguing, if Baker Mayfield can keep that hot streak going as far as his play, playing smart, playing within the system. And if certain guys can step up on both sides of the ball, Buccaneers should be right there. But Eagles, it's not going to be easy. This should be a hard fought game for both sides, and really excited to see how it plays out. But let us know what you guys think. Hit that like button, comment down your thoughts on the keys to this game for the Buccaneers. What you think? How do you see it playing out? And tomorrow we'll probably get into some more of the individual matchups. Baker Mayfield versus the Eagles secondary, offensive line versus defensive line, all those things. But with that said, hope you guys enjoyed it. And until the next one.